Hi YouTube, I am Vera Lisa and this is my first video, so this will be an introduction to me and to the topics that I want to cover on my videos from this point forward. So I'm Vera Lisa, I'm brand new to YouTube, I'm also brand new to Instagram if you want to look for me there under Vera Lisa, and Lisa has two I's. So the things I do, I am a sketcher. I like to sketch in notebooks with colored pencil primarily. I'm a stitcher, mostly embroidery. I'm a collage artist. I use pages from magazines to make my palette and then make pictures out of that. I'm a big American history buff, particularly local history. I live in New York City in Manhattan, so that interest of mine has been finding its way in my artwork more and more, which I'm really enjoying. I'm a writer, which I'm not going to be talking about on the channel too much, but I will be talking about books. I have been binging on Flosstube videos lately, which is the cross stitchers group, and I really like it when YouTubers are talking about books that they've been reading or that they recommend. So I will do that too. It's really fun. So I have been binging on Flosstube lately. Everything I show you, I have stitched pretty much while watching Flosstube'rs. I used to cross stitch a lot when I was younger, but I haven't worked on a project recently, and I didn't think I would return to it until this morning when Pam from Steph and Pam Just Keep Stitching, I think is their channel. She showed a mother's tree that she is working on. She's into genealogy. I am into genealogy as well, and I primarily focus on my mom's side of the family. In fact, my mom's side of the family. So a mother's tree would be an awesome thing for me to work on. So I think cross stitch is going to make its way back into my pile of things to do. So thank you, Pam, for that awesome idea, and your mother's tree looks really good too. So I'm going to show you a finished piece, a work in progress, a WIP, and also a project fail that I'm going to redo, though I learned a lot from it, and then a book. So my finished piece. I mentioned I am a sketcher and I am an embroiderer. So I have been using my sketchbooks as patterns for my embroidery pieces. So this is a sketchbook, an old one that I've been using. It's a Moleskine sketchbook. And this I'm going to show you here. Which way do I go? I'm going to insert a photo because I know that doesn't show up very well. It's a sketch. I call it Highline Medley. It's some flowers, kind of a wildflower garden look from the Highline. The Highline is an elevated railroad track here in Manhattan that went out of use like in the 80s, and they made it into a beautiful park that you can go visit. So I sketched this at the Highline and then use that piece, that drawing, to make an embroidery. And I'm going to insert a photo because I'm not very adept at holding this up to the camera. So what I did is I just held my sketch in front of me. I put it in front of me and Flosstube, front of the computer screen. Then I had my sketch, and then I had my fabric, and I just embroidered along while looking at my sketch. I didn't draw out the pattern on the fabric at all. I just kind of freehanded it, which was super fun. I like to stitch that way, and I will definitely be doing this again. The fabric is some fabric I inherited from a woman in the neighborhood who was a seamstress for some high-end fashion companies, and when she passed away, a few of us got some pieces of her old fabric, and this is one of them. It was nice to work with. Yeah, so this is on its way to go be framed and hopefully will be sold because I'm going to donate it to a community fundraiser of small works, and so hopefully it will get sold, and if it doesn't, my sister said that she would like it, so it has a home. My second piece is a work in progress, and again, it was inspired by a sketch in the sketchbook. I'll show you it, but I will also insert a photo so you can see it better. I have no idea if that's showing up. There we go. So this is a sketch of, I was standing on the elevated train track. The one train is elevated in the Bronx, and I was standing at the platform, and I was looking east over Target and Marshall's and a parking lot, and I really was charmed by the scene that I saw, so I drew it, and then I wanted to stitch it. So I first scanned it and then outlined it in Sharpie, and it still was too busy, so I simplified it and then just put that on that, that tracing paper and traced it on a piece of fabric, which I don't know if that's showing up. And again, this is fabric that I inherited from the seamstress. I don't particularly like working with this fabric. It looks like just plain white fabric, but I don't know. I don't like it. Anyway, but I'm working it. I will insert a photo of this too. There's some, there we go. The trees I'm filling in with French knots, which is fun. But I'll insert a photo, and hopefully the next time I upload a video, that will either be done or close to being done. Now, project fail. I was walking around the neighborhood with a friend quite a while ago, and he was working on a scavenger hunt birthday party for his daughter, and I was going to do the maps for the clues of the scavenger hunt, and so he was walking around the neighborhood showing me where the clues would be hidden for the kids to go find, and I was charmed by this particular scene. This was not in the scavenger hunt, but it was a church on this side, and then the churchyard, and then backs of apartment buildings, and I just liked the color and the way that they looked. So I snapped a photo and wanted to stitch it. And I'm really glad I did, because that church has since been torn down and a high-rise apartment building is going up, so that scene is no more. I made a quick pattern out of the photo. And then instead of embroidering it, I wanted to make the scene kind of like a collage, but with wool felt. So this is, it's not the final piece because I'm abandoning this because it's starting to rip apart. So I learned a lot. What I did is I took the felt, this is the back, and kind of whip stitched the pieces together, and then shrunk the felt so they would adhere together into one flat piece. You can't feel any seams in here at all. This side of the project I really like. I did this last. This side with the cutout windows did not work at all. The pieces are just too small to snip out like that. So I'm going to redo this, either embroidery or felt again, and instead of making all those cutouts, just use embroidery to outline the windows instead. So that's a project fail, but not really, because I'm going to keep moving on. So the last thing I want to talk about is a book. The book that I recently picked up to read is Braiding Sweetgrass. The author is Robin Wall Kimmerer, Kimmerer, and the subtitle is Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teaching of Plants. Right up my alley. I'm only on page 15. But again, hopefully the next time I do the video, this will be done. She is coming to New York. She's coming to the New York Botanical Garden for a talk, so I want to go to the talk, and I also want to have the book finished by the time that she comes. So that's the end of my very first video. If you like it, please subscribe. I would be super happy. Or go follow me on Instagram, Vera Lisa. VERALIISA, and I will follow you right back again. So thanks again, and I will see you next time.